Gearbest have kindly sent me another quad to review. This is the DENG K80 PANTONMA, and it's a cool looking quad. I really like the look of it. Nice sturdy box, come again, no damage from China, so pleased with that. And it comes in various different guises, and it's got lots of different features and functions down here, which obviously apply to different models. I've actually got the base model. I did have a quick look. They did tell me that I was getting the base model, which is absolutely fine, because you can always add the bits you want afterwards. And I've got the turquoise colour here as well. It does come with various different cameras if you've gone for those ones, and also Wi-Fi and 5.8 FPV, and it's got obstacle avoidance. Unfortunately mine hasn't got that, because I would have loved to have checked that out. And then you've got the QR codes for the apps, I would imagine, for using the Wi-Fi system. So let's get this unboxed, see what it looks like. Okay, so I'm going to actually show you how well this is packaged. It's actually a bit of a deceptive box. I could have made it quite a bit smaller actually. As you can see, the quad's fully assembled, which is nice, and it's really held well in here, so there's absolutely nothing going to get damaged, even if the box took a fair old beating. And then you simply lift that bit up, and then you're down into the main area of the box with everything else in there. So like I say, it's extremely well packaged, well put together. So here it is, everything unpacked, and it is a smart looking quad. That is a really nice looking little quad. The landing gear is all built on, and it comes fully assembled, so the props are on, so you're ready to go after you've charged the battery, obviously. The props themselves are actually really flexible. They're really soft and flexible, so I think if they hit anything they would either shatter, I would imagine, pretty quick, or they would just deflect out the way, which is rather good. But if you're new to flying, or you feel that you want a little bit more confidence in it, all you have to do is just undo this little screw here, I think, and then screw that in through the prop guard, and they just sit on three little spigots like that. So they'll be quite efficient, and they don't look too bad actually, being in the black. The quad, as I say, is, I've got the base model, but there is, it's obviously ready to assemble all the extra stuff that you might possibly get on your one. I did think I had a camera module with it, but it's just a fake one. It's just a fake housing, to be honest, and that just simply slides into here, just to finish off the look of the quad. I think it is more than anything, that's why they've put it in there. If you need to remove it, you simply press this button here and just slide it back out again. But I shall probably just leave that on. The battery bay is at the back here. You simply press the button there and then just slide that out. And it's quite a lightweight battery. It's quite a small battery actually. 650 milliamp hour, and it's just a single cell. So that's, but it is in a proprietary holder. So if you wanted to change batteries, you'd need to unscrew this and swap it over, which is really going to be a real pain. But they are trying to keep the style and the look of the quad all the same sort of thing. So, and that simply just slots back into there. The charging on the battery, sorry, I might as well get that back out again, mightn't I? Well, it's got to go on charge anyway. So the charging is through a USB adapter here, and it just simply plugs into here, and then either plug that into a mains adapter, or you can plug that into your computer or your laptop. One thing I wasn't overly happy about is the same charger. You only get one of them to charge the actual transmitter itself. So you plug that in as well, plug that into the wall or the computer like we said before, and then you would charge that up. So you can only charge one at a time, which is a little bit upsetting, I think. The transmitter itself is actually an expanding one, so you can put in a large tablet in there if you've got the one with the Wi-Fi on, which is rather good. And the thing I really like about this, and I usually bang on about this, is the actual controls are all clearly marked what they do. On every single part of this it's marked, so it's really good. So you don't have to keep coming back to the manual, you've got it here all in front of you, which is really nice sort of thing, so I look forward to that. And having the handset quite a way apart, I think will make flying a lot easier sort of thing. So looking forward to that. You get a complete spare set of props, and you get a Phillips screwdriver as well, and you could use that to put the prop guards on as well. So got the battery off the quad on charge. I'm just going to run through the actual manual itself. It's a nice A5 printed manual, and it's just come in the one language. It's all in English, so it's not confusing to read at all, and very well done. There's an index as well, which is brilliant. It jumps you to the bits that you need to be looking at, and if you're new, it tells you where to go for the your basic operation guide and etc. So I think it's really well put together, this. I think they've put quite a lot of thought into this. The transmitter is explained nice and clearly, and there's two sort of elevations on it to show you it, and also the icons they use here are the icons they use on the actual transmitter itself. So I think that's really well done. I mean, if the transmitter flies as well as I'm impressed with it so far, it's going to be an awesome little piece of kit. It gives you all your dimensions and everything, and how to do your basic assemblies, how to add the extra bits if you've got the different models, and also they actually have photographs in here as well, so it's really nice and clear, changing the props and adding the prop guards and everything. The QR codes for if you've got the Wi-Fi model, and then it goes into the full FPV at the 5.8 gigahertz one, how to put the screen on and everything there. And then the basic thing of basic operations is really well explained. I think they've done that really well with the graphics. If you're new to quads, this would get you started on the understanding on what the controls are going to do. I think it's very well done. And then it runs into the usual explanation of what the different speeds, CF modes, etc. like that, all the different modes that it has. And then onto your parts and everything, and then obviously onto your troubleshooting. That is a really good instruction manual. Okay, so first of all I'm going to turn on the quad first of all, and then you see we get a flashing LEDs underneath. Turn on the transmitter, which is this little button here, and you get a double beep to tell you that the transmitter's on. You get the flashing LED here. If I go up with the throttle and just hold it up there for a second, you see the LEDs have stopped flashing and they're now on solid. To take off, we simply press this take off button here, but it doesn't actually take off, it just purely puts it into tick over basically, and then to take off we would certainly just use the throttle then to then lift it up off the ground. It's an altitude hold model, so both the sticks are centered, so no matter where you put them they will jump back to the middle. So when you as soon as you go to take off, the quad will lift off. As soon as you let go, it will stop at that level, at that height, and that will hold it there in that position. So that's almost sort of a horizontal hold position, if you like, there, and then you can do whatever else you like. You can still climb and descend and still use the other controls as well, so there's no problem there. It's a mode 2 controller, and so your throttle is up and down, the yaw is turn right and turn left. By doing that you pitch forward, so you go forward or backwards, and then that rolls to the right or the left, and that's with the quad facing in that direction basically. If you turn it around that way, obviously front's that way, and to the right is this way then, so that could cause some confusion, but that's you're basically flying in pilot's view. If you don't want to fly in pilot's view and you want front to always be away from the transmitter where it started with the quad in this orientation, you simply just use this one here, which is you press this one down, and then you get flashing LEDs, as you can clearly see. And then no matter what orientation it is in, even if it's at a slight angle, if you go forward will be straight away from the actual transmitter itself or where it started. This is called headless mode, or sometimes they call it CF mode, and that's activated by this little one here. Almost looks like a compass star here. So turn that off, the LEDs stop flashing. So I quite like the fact that you get a beep and also you get flashing LEDs as well. If you want the LEDs off, so I'll just lift them up so you can see them, you simply press that button there and that turns the LEDs on and off. If you're on low battery warning and it flashes when it's on low battery warning, so you should really bring it back into land, then the LEDs, you can't turn them off basically. Run through the rest of the controls. This one here returns to home, so wherever it took off from, that's where it will head back towards roughly. They're never particularly great without a GPS on them, but that will get it heading back towards you if you get into any problems. So you simply press that and you just get a single beep. The LEDs don't actually flash on this model. Then to stop it, you simply press that again. That will take it out of return to home mode, and then you can start flying it again, because if not, it will just come straight back to where you are. You've got 3 speed settings, so it always starts in low rate, so that's the first setting. Press it, it goes up into medium rates, did-eat, and then press it again, you get did-eat, and it's in high rates, and it's cyclical, so press it again, it just comes around to a single beep again. As I explained there, the landing and takeoff, landing and takeoff is here, quite simple. And then if you've got the camera module on, you can take stills with this, or you can run the video from here as well. So one quick press takes still photographs, hold it down and you get a beep beep, and then that starts the video. Hold it down again for a couple of seconds, you get beep beep, that turns it off. The trim buttons on this model are actually clearly marked, so that's the rotation. When you do that, the quad will basically pirouette, it will spin round, and you can alter the trim if it starts drifting round in those directions. To be honest, you don't tend to have that sort of problem with quads these days, don't seem to anyway. The trim button for the roll, so that's that way, is here, and then for the pitch, whether it goes forward and backwards, is done here. There's loads of videos out there on how to set the trims, and they're really clearly marked on this one. I really do like what they've done here. You can adjust the camera angle if you've got the camera module basically up and down here, and then if you want to do flips, you simply press this button, you get a beep beep beep, and then you choose the direction of flip. So to the right it will flip up, to the right, to the left, forward and back, and make sure it's at least a couple of meters above the ground before you do that. If not, it stands a chance of hitting into the ground. When you bring it into land, you don't have to actually use the landing one if you don't want to. As you bring it into land, you can just pull this down, and when it touches the ground, the motors will go into idle, and then they'll actually turn off with that as well. Okay, so ready for our first flight. Got the battery fully charged, and just gonna power on. As you can see, we get the flashing LEDs. And then we just simply turn on the transmitter, and then to bind on this one, just simply push it up, and then the flashing LEDs stop. And there we go. So take off and land, you just use this button here, and I've explained the transmitter all inside anyway. So right, and this will start in low rates. Well, that's quite nice. Ooh, it's got a sort of I don't know, that's the altitude hold. Yeah, I think it is actually. It certainly holds. Look at that. That is pretty good for altitude hold. It's almost position hold. Apart from the fact we don't have any wind today. Woo! Obviously something... maybe that's... There we go. Yeah, I'm not touching anything there. Just pulsing up and down a wee bit. Sometimes it does take a while to stabilise actually, I've noticed. That's holding pretty good there. Well, that's in low rate, so let's just see how we go. Well, it is very gentle, extremely gentle. You can actually descend well with the altitude hold as well, so some of them you really can't. You sort of pull it down, nothing happens for ages. And on a couple of models it just then drops out of the sky, so hopefully this won't happen. I do always think it's a shame if they can't turn off altitude hold, so I always sort of think that's nice if you can. Okay, so, well, let's try a couple of things, shall we? Nice thing is the transmitter's all well marked, even though we've got lots of buttons on here. It's all very, very simple to operate, so let's just do a flip, see how we get on. Whoa! Don't know that it's the best flipper in the world, let's just try that again. So we're just going to flip, and we'll go to the left this time. Whoa, it's certainly, well, it certainly drifts all over the place with a flip. I'm never a great fan of the flipping, but I know some people like it. It gives it a lot of elevation, and it just drifts in the opposite direction actually, so very strange. Let's just try a return to home, so that will be behind me now, so let's just see how we get on. I'm just going to put it up there, and just leave it, and then press. There we go, that's sort of coming back. Oh yeah, definitely. Sort of definitely, anyway. They never return spot on to home, they just come in that general direction. If you sort of lost sight of it or anything, it would, at least it would head towards you. You'd stand a fighting chance with it, that's for sure. Let's try turning the
LEDs off. You can actually see the LEDs, and again you can see how well that hovers. So that's LEDs off, obviously, hopefully you can see. LEDs on. That is lovely and smooth, isn't it? So let's try headless mode. So that should, yeah, that's definitely headless. Yep, that's definitely working in headless mode. I'm going to turn that off because I really never ever get on with it. Right, and we just have a look at these 3 rates, because the first rate is very docile. Not ridiculously so, but it is pretty low. To alter the rates, press there, and you get a double beep beep. The roll doesn't seem much at all, actually. It has altered it a bit, but I wouldn't say it's not a drastic change into intermediate rates. That's full pitch, as you can hopefully see. Yeah, it's not particularly rapid, but perhaps 3 will take it up and make it a little bit more rapid. So I don't know if you can hear that, it's very quiet. Dit. Oh, a little bit better. Certainly not an aggressive flyer, that's for sure. I think I could have given it just a little bit more go in 3. But it's a small lightweight quad, I mean, and it does fly well, doesn't it? I mean, the altitude hold is actually quite good on it. They're never particularly my favourite if you can't turn them off, like I say. Yeah, it's very good. Let's just do a quick range test. I'll do a reverse range test this time. I'll take it over there and see what we can do. I haven't got any FPV on this, so I can't really check it. That is about, well, that's 40 metres, I would say. If I go back over to, oh no, we're best part of 50 metres there. I don't know what the range is. I'm just seeing how it holds on its altitude. Still pulsing up and down a bit. Well, it's definitely coming home now. Yeah, the pitch and roll don't really change a huge amount in third rates. I mean, it's got a little bit of movement on it, but it's nothing major. It's certainly a soft, gentle fly. I mean, if you're new to flying, this thing would be excellent. Right? Just try it on its auto landing. So just simply press that one, and it should come down. Let's give it a little bit of elevation, just see whether or not whether it just cuts the motor or how it does it. There you go. See, just leveling itself out a bit there. There we go. It's just one quick press and down she goes. That's brilliant. Works well. Or the other way you can do it, if you want. If you can actually just pull off the throttle, and once it actually gets down to a certain level, I'll assume it will kill them. Yeah, there we go. So it does. So. And then you need the landing take-off button again. So. Actually, this massive controller is really quite handy. Actually, I just wondered if you got into a sort of stretch position, you could sort of crank it round, but it's not going to be that sort of thing that you need to crank this thing round. Or you might, if you need to, it's probably going to crash. Because it's certainly got no way of going with real gusto, that's for sure. I wonder whether the batteries are getting a bit low. Let's have a check on those LEDs. Which definitely, no, it's still not. So that's quite a good flight. Oh no, they are just flashing. There we go. Did just notice the power seemed to just drop quite a bit there. Let's run the battery out and just see what we get. Oh, you can hear it. So that's that sort of almost a judder sound. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but it's sort of da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Just leave that running, just see how long we get now. Yeah, it's doing pretty well actually. I'm quite impressed with it. Yeah, nice little flyer. Just could do a bit more go, I think. It wouldn't hurt, I don't think. Oh, there we go. So, and it's just killed itself there. I didn't do anything with that. So, that's very good. Let's get that on charge. Come out for another play, I think.
Okay, so what did I think of it? Well, these reviews of mine are very personal, exactly, they're from me, how I like to fly, etc. The altitude hold, I would like to be able to turn it off. I always sort of think that once you've played around with the altitude hold, you might just want to learn how to fly without the altitude hold on. So this means you would have to get a different quad. So that's a little bit of a shame, and a little button on there really wouldn't have hurt that. Because it's a modular system, of course, you can start off just with a quad, as I have here, and then of course you can change and upgrade to the different camera systems up to a full 5.8 gigahertz FPV system if you like, or just an ordinary one that you could use with a phone or a tablet, so with using Wi-Fi. You've got the collision avoidance as well, so that would be interesting to try out. So you can move it on, sort of thing, which is good for a beginner, I think, or if someone who doesn't want to have loads of quads, because you buy the first quad, then you buy an FPV quad, then you buy another quad, so an altitude hold quad, so you wind up with several quads. So this is actually almost one answer to it all. It's not a very big quad either, so that's rather nice. The transmitter is absolutely lovely. It works really well and clearly marked with everything. I just love that on the transmitter. When you press something and activate it, you get a beep, so you've got some feedback there, and also the LEDs change as well on certain functions, so that's good as well. So there's definitely, if you press something definitely happens, and there's activated it, and then you know to either turn it off or to be warned that you put something on. So I really like that system. The LEDs themselves are pretty good. I didn't think there'd be a lot of good outside, but to be honest they are, and they wouldn't work particularly well in very bright sunlight, but they do work. And bit of a shame they haven't got them right on the ends there, so you can actually see them from different angles, but the quad is quite distinctive with the white at the front and the black at the back, so not really a major error there. The whole thing, yeah, it's nice actually. The three different rates aren't that much different, and low rate is really low, but if you're learning, that might be exactly what you want. The high rate could be faster, I think. If you're going to have the slow, then go right up to a nice bit of speed, turn of speed. It's not really getting up there, but it is different. They are different rates, certainly. So, nice little quad to fly.